after losing two starters from the secondary from a season ago, it would make sense to see Georgia's defensive back group take a step back in 2022. But after watching G-Day and really breaking down who they have returning in the secondary, I think it could be even better than it was last year. And of course, that was a defense that was one of the best in college football history. And the secondary was really, really good. Again, I think this year could be even better because this is a group that's loaded with veteran, experienced guys and a lot of young, talented players as well. A solid mixture of them both. Of course, losing Darian Kendrick to the draft, they knew that was coming. They only needed him for 1 year. As many plays as he made, he's replaceable, right? Lewis Cine, hard-hitting safety who can help you in coverage. He might be a first-round pick. They're going to have to replace him too, and I think that's manageable. They're losing two guys. We saw Keely Ringo, former five-star. We saw what he did last year, pick 6 to win the national championship game. He's going to be your starter at cornerback, or one of the starters. And he's already turned into one of the leaders on the defense. So you've got one position locked up. You've got Chris Smith, right? Fifth-year player now from the 2018 class, multi-year starter, pick 6 against Clemson last year in the opener, had a big interception in the national championship game. This is a guy who's also become a leader, and he's going to hold down probably that free safety spot. You have Dan Jackson, right? Another guy, former walk-on who made a lot of plays last year. Can play multiple positions, safety, star. He's got speed. He closes well, and he knows how to tackle. So he's another guy with experience coming back. You also have William Poole, right? Super senior, 6th year. He's going to get a big-time degree after 6 years, but he's a guy who made a lot of plays in the national championship game, right? A guy who knows what he's doing. Hasn't played a ton in his career, but he brings versatility. He can play corner. He can play star. He can cover guys in the slot. He can also play some safety. So this is a big year for him. If he wants to play football at the next level, he needs a big year. So does Chris Smith. And of course, Dan Jackson as well. So you've got a lot of guys, especially at safety, who can, work their way around the field. You have Tyke Smith, a guy who was injured, didn't play all of last year, but in 2020 was one of the better defensive backs in the Big 12 when he was with West Virginia. So when he's healthy, he's a guy who's going to see a lot of playing time. He's another guy who could play that star position, cover tight ends, guys in the slot, in the middle of the field, a solid kind of cover corner type of guy. So they've got a few of the guys coming back who have already, we know they're going to play, and we probably know they're going to start. Now, who is the other safety, right, opposite of Keely Ringo? There's a lot of guys looking for that job. Plenty of guys that Kirby Smart really, really likes from that 21 class. You've got Nyland Green, one of the top cornerback prospects out of high school. In that class, we saw his ball skills in G-Day with a big interception off of the trick play. Dude can go and get it. He's tough. He knows how to cover. He's fundamentally sound. He's got length and he's got ball skills. So he's a guy who I think a lot of people should keep an eye on. Eventually, I think he's going to start. Don't know if it's this year, but I do think he's going to play. Kamari Lassiter from that same class, one of the more underrated guys from that 21 class, a 3-star kid. He's another guy that Kirby Smart loves. Played in garbage time a good bit last year. Did not play in the G-Day scrimmage last weekend, but he's another guy who the staff is really high on. He's tough and physical, and he's another guy who can come down with the football when the ball's in the air. I think the staff loved him out of high school, and we're really happy to bring him in, although his ranking was not where a lot of people kind of expect it to be. He wasn't a 5-star guy, but he's really turning some heads on campus right now. And then you have Javon Bullard, one of the toughest guys on the team, Kirby Smart said. Milledgeville kid, in-state guy, another kind of lower-ranked player that they signed. But he's another guy who's itching for playing time. He's ready to get out there, show what he can do. So there are a couple of spots up for grabs. A lot of guys trying to get in there, trying to work their way. And then you have some of the incoming freshmen. Dalen Everett, Kirby Smart spoke about him and his ability to tackle. He's physical. He's tough. And if you want to play, you got to get off blocks and you got to help in the run game. You can't just have receivers blocking you 15 yards down the field and then open up a lot of area for opposing running backs to run and get to the sideline and get big yards. So if you're not physical, if you can't hold the point of attack, get off blocks, and make a tackle in the run game, you're not going to play. And Dalen Everett, former 5-star guy who could cover and make plays, he had 8 interceptions as a sophomore in high school, played at IMG Academy, knows what to do, knows a college football program, and knows how to work. He's a guy who I think people should keep an eye on. Played a good bit at G-Day looked fine. I think he got beat 1 or 2 times, but he should be in high school right now. So it's tough to really knock him, but he's the guy that, they took away from Clemson when Brent Venables went to Oklahoma. So 5-star kid, ball skills, but he knows how to tackle and he's tough. So he's a guy who could see the field early. But overall, I think this is a very talented group and probably the most experienced group on the defense. There's a lot of new defensive linemen who are going to play and a lot of new linebackers, but to have the experience in the back end, especially at safety, and then Keely Ringo, cornerback, those guys are going to be leading the defense. And again, you've got guys who have been in the program for 4, 5, and in one case, 6 years. So they know the defense, they know what they're supposed to do, and they know how to lead. And I think that's going to play a big factor in this next season. So they were really good last year, really good. But they were better than the year before when they lost Eric Stokes, Tyson Campbell, and Richard LeCount. So we've seen them lose. 2 years ago, they lost 3 starters, came back last year, and had one of the better seasons, we've seen from a defense or a secondary in a long time. They weren't perfect, right? Alabama threw on them a good bit in that SEC title game, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they were even better this year, because there are a lot of young, talented guys who are ready to see the field. And if they do, that means they beat out some really good players in front of them. And then you have the experienced veteran guys who are not going to, be in busted coverages a ton this year. They're going to know where they're supposed to be. They're going to make some plays, and they're going to bring some leadership to the team in that defense. So I think it is a solid group overall, kind of full of, occasional 3 stars and 4 stars, but there's, your 5-star Keely Ringo, proved why last year, and you've got a lot of talented young guys who are itching to play. So I'm excited to see who stands out, who gets that other cornerback position. Does anyone step up and take some playing time away from maybe Dan Jackson, William Poole, who could play a number of different positions, cornerback, star, and safety. And I don't think Chris Smith's going to be leaving the field too often, but it's exciting. It's a group that we definitely have our eye on, for the rest of the season, going into the 22 season. I think overall it's going to be a very reliable and solid group. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the video. As always, stay tuned to the next one, and I'll see you over on the website.